Hello, I'm Ed Robinson and welcome to Ringside Toe2Toe, a boxing podcast exclusive to skysports.com. In the opposite corner to me, as always, is promoter and former light middleweight fighter Spencer Fearon. Hello, Spencer.
Hello, Edwin.
Well, the legendary James Lights Out Toney is in town for Prizefighter, and Spencer spoke to him about his incredible career.
Right, we have a special guest for Ringside Toe2Toe. See, Ed Robinson couldn't be here, so I filled it in with the next guy, you know what I mean? The great, the one and only, James Lights Out Toney.
Hey, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Now, this is a great honor for me to be up with you. If I was to go back and think about on your career, what would you say was your greatest victory?
My greatest victory, it had to be Evander Holyfield.
Yeah? Would you rate the Evander Holyfield fight more than like the Michael Nunn knockout?
The Michael Nunn fight was special because that was the first big significant fight I had, you know what I'm saying? Against a so-called top fighter who's supposed to be the best fighter in the world pound for pound. But Evander Holyfield is great for me because I was such an underdog. Everybody ripped me off.
Yeah.
You see, I was too small, I couldn't take a punch, I couldn't do this, couldn't do that. So I had to go in and show everybody that I'm still the big dog. Yeah,
because I remember early, and you were in the ring with Lennox Lewis when Lennox Lewis fought Tony Tucker.
Yeah.
And then you were still a super middleweight then, but you were saying like, right, I know I could take these guys. So like, do you think like, because it took a little while now, it took nearly a decade for you to make that proper transgression or move up to the heavyweight division?
Yeah.
Like, do you think like even back then you could have gone in with like the real big heavyweights? Like,
of course, because if you know, I've been in the gym with all the best fighters in the world: Willie Edwards, Dwayne Braxton, Dwight Davidson.
Yeah.
You know, Dwayne Thomas. You know, so many. I've been boxing middleweights from middleweight to heavyweight ever since I was young. Right. So I knew I could handle anybody I got in the ring with. I had confidence in my ability at all times. And even back then, in 1992, when I was challenging Lennox Lewis, I was serious. If he would have accepted the chance to fight the middleweight champion of the world, and I've been fighting the heavyweight champion of the world, I would have fought him and beat him. Because I know what it takes. And I'm not taking nothing away from Lennox Lewis. Lennox Lewis is a great fighter. I respect him to the utmost, but I would have beat him.
Right. You see, when we look at your career, like, for such a young age, because like you won the title in '91 against Michael Nunn.
Yes, sir.
When you won the IBF title, that was amazing because you was only a pro at that time for 2 years.
Yeah.
But yet you were fighting
twice a month.
Yeah, you was fighting. Jackie Callum was getting you a lot of work then.
I wish I could still fight that way.
Yeah.
If I could fight twice a month right now, I would.
Yeah.
I love because it's in my DNA. Fighting's in my DNA. It's in my blood. I can't help it. I love to fight.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because like over the years,
I know over the years I've gotten lethargic with my training and lethargic with my fights, and that's why. That's why I have to fight, because I stay busy. The weight stays off, I'm more sharper, I'm better.
Okay. Because if we go back to like 1993, when everybody was talking about Chris Eubank, Nigel Benn, and you were on the set with Mickey Rourke, and you said some geography things about both of them, but you said some geography things about Chris Eubank, and you said that you beat him and his mother's ass. I remember that quite clearly.
Yes.
Right? How would you have beat Chris Eubank?
Easy. Like the same way I beat Michael Nunn. Pressure.
Yeah?
You know, pressure busts pipes.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And Eubanks, everybody who fought Chris Eubanks, put the pressure on because he was sneaky.
Yeah. Yeah, one of the greatest chins though. He had a superb chin.
But no matter, he ain't fought me.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And he used Nigel Benn's pressure against him. You know what I'm saying? He did a marvelous job fighting, but he fought him scared.
Right.
You can't fight me scared. If you fight me scared, you make a mistake. And then when you make a mistake, it's rap.
Right. How would you have fought Nigel Benn?
Same way.
Pressure with what you'd have gone and met a puncher?
Angles. Everybody give me angles, slip it to the side, pop. Perfect, because you know what? His head is made for hiccups. Uppercuts.
Yeah.
And so I would end up knocking him out within 7 or 8 rounds.
You reckon you'd knocked out Nigel Benn 7 or 8 rounds?
Easy.
Right. What about Chris Eubank? You think you'd have knocked him out as well?
Knocked him out too.
Okay.
Why you think they never wanted to fight me? Because they knew what time it was. And I'm not knocking the skills. Don't get me wrong. I'm not knocking the skills at all. They were good fighters. but it was just not on James Toney's level.
Right. I would say like the most, to any young fighter, I would say to any young fighter out there who want to watch boxing, you really want to watch boxing, I'd watch your first Mike McCallum fight. That to me is beautiful.
Man.
Right? In 91 fight.
That fight right there taught me how to fight. Mike McCallum taught me how to fight. Because before I fought Mike McCallum, if you look at everything before I fought Mike McCallum, I was just running in, slipping aside. I was still using my angles, but see, Mike made me think. Because if you made a mistake with Mike, you're gonna get one chance. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And Mike was good, and Mike was known as a body snatcher. So with me and my, God bless you, Bill Miller, we worked on a game plan, and we decided to get the Mike go to the body, I go to his body.
Yeah.
You can't sit there and let him dictate anything. So when he tried to dictate things, I picked it up, and it worked. Bill knew what we were talking about. Yeah,
the Iron Barkley fight, for me, to me, that is one of the greatest displays. I'm telling you now, not because you're here, but we always speak about this. One of the greatest displays of boxing was that fight. The style that you were demonstrating then was like a throwback scene. It was like you were a little bit Archie Moore, a little bit Ezed Charles. You know what I mean? A little bit of the footwork. Like sometimes you'd be backing off with like Willie Pep. Would you constantly sit down and study these guys, or was it something like it just rubbed off and it was you?
No, see what was Bill Miller, my trainer, 11 missing to death. He was the trainer of Ezed Charles.
Yep.
And so when I first got with Bill set me down, pulled all this in the chance. Watch this, son. Watch this. I'll watch it, and then actually I would try to go to the gym the next day and do it. Right. We get slack. Yeah. You know, I said, okay. But one day, after I kept on doing it,
and it just clicked.
Just clicked on. So each month, so when I fought Iran, I told we had so much beef and everything.
Yeah, because you both guys, like, you know, Iron Barkley's one of the spades in New York. He's a tough guy.
Yeah, he thought he was.
Yeah, but he was a tough. He was a kick with me, He was a tough guy.
Thought he was.
Right, and you was a tough guy. So like the press conference must have been very interesting.
Well, the first press conference we had in L.A. was was almost bad because he came in because his nickname is the Blade. Right. So he came in with a blade. And so I'm like, oh, hell no. So my thing is, I went to the police, I went to the security guy. I tried to grab his gun because I was going to get because he came in with
So you grabbed the gun to get?
I tried to.
Oh, you tried to?
Yeah. So I'm like, so that kind of stuff, everything, everybody knew we wasn't playing. But I told him from that point, I'm going to whoop you so bad, your mama won't even recognize you. You see what I did to you? Each round I beat him with a fight of the past. Yeah. One round was Archie Moore, one round was Jake LaMotta, one round was Sherry Robinson. I kept on switching up on him, because you know. But I had to, because all Bill Miller's training.
That's incredible. That's incredible. So like, what does the future now hold for James Toney? You're over here for this Prizefighter, you know what I mean? Which is going to be very interesting. You know what I mean? What's your predictions in Prizefighter? And what's the future hold for James Toney?
The future hold for James Toney will be the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world pretty soon. Right. First thing first, I'm not taking nobody out in the tournament. Right. I ain't never seen it, and I've heard about it.
It's a 3-round fight. I know you know the concept where it's a 3-round fight. Yeah. I know because I've managed 2 guys that have won it now. So I think I've got the blueprint here, right? But I've managed 2 guys who've won it. Do you think your style will be suited? Because it's only a 3-round fight, you know?
I understand it, but see, if this tournament is a real tournament, we have the great judges there to
determine who won the round.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm not even worried about it because I know what James Toney got to do. Right. I'm in shape. I'm ready to do this. Okay. Like I said, come next week. Like I said, you will see old school.
Well, Spencer, are you a fan of James Toney?
I'm a fan of the great science that the man has. He's a superb fighter. Even now to be fighting at just below elite level, at his age is, what was he, 45, 46?
45, 88 fights, right. 666 rounds.
Right. You have to nothing but enjoy the guy. You have to think, he fought Michael Nunn 2 years as a pro. When Michael Nunn, you have to admit, when the time when Michael Nunn beat Frank Tate, what was that, 87, 88, 88?
Stopped him with a body shot, didn't he, about 8 rounds.
That was our era, I remember going into school and everyone saying, nah, this Michael Nunn, he'll beat Sugar Ray Leonard. I'm getting nuts. No, he's talking about no one can beat Sugar Ray Leonard. So to see him going with those kind of caliber of fighters, you know, he fought Sandline Williams. Nobody knocks out Sandline Williams. An interesting story. Sandline Williams fought Nigel Benn. You guys go check him out. Sandline Williams was like the gatekeeper to the middleweights. Any middleweight who was of any note who wanted to go in here would have to fight Sandline Williams. And
that was when Nigel Benn had lost in Britain, went over to America.
That's right. Lost to Michael Watson.
Guys before fighting Doug DeWitt.
And Nigel Benn went points with Sandline Williams. And Barry Hearn wanted to bring over Sandline Williams for Chris Eubank. And when he wanted to bring over for Chris Eubank, Ambrose Mendy got on the phone to Barry Hearn and said, look, forget that one. This guy's as tough as nails. He'll make Eubank look bad. Forget about it. So when you look at somebody like James Toney, he's been in with everybody. He boxed everybody. You know what I mean? And he's just such a nice man. Forget about what a hype you get with him when he's on camera. Yeah, I mean, because I heard that he yesterday
he was very grumpy at the Prizefighter shoot on Monday. Wouldn't take his top off for any of the shoots.
He's lost 60 pounds, you know that?
He has lost some weight. In actual fact, he doesn't look like a heavyweight. He looks like he could do cruiserweight.
He looks like, to me, when I stood beside him and took a picture of him, I said, man, I reckon you could do light heavy. But in saying that, James Toney's done some incredible things in his career. For me, the Iron Barkley fight, when he beat Iron Barkley for the super middleweight IBF title, was genial.
He toyed with a very, very tough, proud champion.
Yeah. So, I mean, over the years, what's your greatest fight of James Toney?
Greatest knockout would be Prince Charles Williams.
Which is that was horrible, that right hand.
Yeah, a big fan of the Mike McCallum series because I just think they were so good. If you're looking on YouTube, seeing him spar with Gerald McClellan in Detroit is incredible.
Yeah. That's what he said to me. He said, like, when he used to go to the Kronk gym, it used to be tear-ups on wars every day.
Yeah, but what I would say to most young fighters is, instead of trying to study someone like Mayweather, go back and study someone like James Toney, because everything he did was so effortless. The way he slipped, he's got that American style where he slips from the jab, just slips down to the right, and he'll throw a right hand to the body, or turn it over to the head.
I love you, Ed.
But he's just effortless with everything he does. The way he slips shots and just so relaxed, and he's just got that ability to control a pace. I mean, I preferred him to Roy Jones because I think Roy Jones had extraordinary gifts, but technically James Toney was perfectly schooled. And you're a big fan of his trainer.
Yeah, listen, right, his former trainer, Bill Miller. Bill Miller, everyone knows, like, Ezzard Charles, one of my favourite fighters of all time. Ezzard Charles, Mike McCallum, not because Mike McCallum was of Jamaican descent, but because Reg Guttridge, the famous commentator, you know what I mean, who Ed is emerging into becoming. I'm telling you, you're becoming him and Harry Carpenter. Ed's going to be the new, conjoin them two together, you're going to get Ed Robinson, right? Anyway, and he would say, like, similarities between Ezzard Charles and Mike McCallum was very, very similar in how they used to box technically. They were smooth, how they would just glide around the ring. They wouldn't overly exert themselves. James Toney could do it so much. So James Toney could fight so much, and that's why he could pile on weight and stuff like that and be undisciplined, because he became like Archie Moore. You know the famous story with Archie Moore? Archie Moore knew round so good, like the minutes in a round, that he could box 3 minutes of the round and make sure by the end of the round that he was by his corner so he could sit down. So, and that's James Toney. So that was James Toney. He was so gifted that he became lazy because he was like, he did things effortless. Brilliant fighter. You young guys, go watch him on YouTube. Watch James Toney, excellent fighter, and you're going to learn so much from him. Like Ed said, watch him more than Floyd Mayweather, because Floyd Mayweather was a supremely gifted person. James Toney just worked and worked and worked. Great guy.
Well, for the full extended podcast, go to skysports.com/podcast.
Watch all 6 Sky Sports channels on your mobile and online.